All right, so the topic of today's conversation is family. First question, who are you closest to in your family and why?
Yeah, that's a really, really great question. I'm really, really close to my family. We are very, maybe not just because of our culture being half Korean, but family is very, we're very strong bonded. So, but I have to say, in my family, the person I'm very, very close to is my mom, Oma. Like we have a very special relationship in that I tell her everything, maybe too much. She knows too much about what's going on in my life. We almost have a relationship like a best friend relationship versus a mother-daughter relationship.
Sure.
I think that's very unique in Korean culture because I grew up in America. Even if I grew up understanding Korean culture, there was a lot of American influence in my life growing up. So growing up, I can talk to her and tell her just about anything. It's crazy.
Would you say that your relationship was always like that, or has it kind of grown and changed over time?
That's a really great question. It definitely has grown and changed over time as I grew up to become, as I grew up as an adult. In high school, she was more intrusive. Like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Typical, right?
Sure,
very typical of Korean parents, Korean moms specifically. But I have to say now, it's changed a lot in that it's almost like she's coming to me and asking me, "Hey, Sherin." So I've encountered this situation. What are how are some ways I can work through it? Yeah. So I think it's really interesting that she and I respect her a lot so much. So when she comes to me and asks me for opinion and advice, to me I take that to heart. It's a very special thing to be able to say, oh, now I can give Oma some information that she's in the past has given me.
Definitely. Yeah. I think that like all relationships, they sort of evolve over time, right? And I think especially with parent-child relationships, you start off with the dynamic of children are completely helpless and dependent on parents. But I think that as we grow up and we start to become adults in our own right, then, as you mentioned, it's less of a I tell you what to do and you listen to me, and it's more of a friendship that forms.
Absolutely.
Right? So, yeah, that's a really special thing.
Yeah. Since the topic is about family, Dan, I'm sure a lot of our students and viewers want to know, do you want to get married soon? And when you do, where do you want to go on your honeymoon? You know, like that's the biggest thing everybody wants to know, right? It's like, do you want to get married?
For sure. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel like in our generation, everybody grew up on romance, right? In every Disney movie, any book or movie you read, there's always like a love story. And of course, marriage is always the end goal. So I think having grown up in that myself, obviously, like, yes, I definitely do want to get married. And where I want to go on my honeymoon, wow. You know, I think my personality is that, like, the where, it doesn't really matter. I think at that point, if I did get married, right, for me, it's like if I get married, that means I found somebody that I'm actually that crazy about, that I want to spend the rest of my life with, then, I mean, we could have a honeymoon in, like, my apartment, and it'll be great, you know what I mean? Like, I think we could go anywhere, and I would just be happy being with her.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure many of our students want to know, Dan, what is your bias?
Oh, like what kind of person, what kind of girl do I want to meet?
Yes.
I mean, I think there's like a certain like level of, I guess, physical attraction that has to be there, right, for everybody.
Everybody,
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So like, if physically she's attractive, and don't ask me to describe what kind of physique I'm attracted to, because I don't know that I'm comfortable sharing that on video. But I think once that level of physical attractiveness is there, then the most important thing that I look for is she kind? Yeah, and I think when I say kind, I mean like you could say the same thing, but you could say it gently, or you could say it kind of harsh, right? So I think the kind of person who would take one step more to think how can I say this in a way that will not hurt this person?
Absolutely.
Right? I think that is a huge aspect of kindness, and also somebody who knows how to fight. Right? Yeah, and what I mean by that is, some people, when they fight, they attack the other person, right? We're doing this because it's you. You always do this, right? If I hear somebody say that, it's like, sorry, it's not going to work out between us, right? Because I think when you have some kind of conflict, you should be looking at the conflict together from the same side. Like, hey, I think this is something we need to work on, right? Totally different from because of you, we're doing this again, right? So, yeah.
Understanding that there's two people in the relationship.
Exactly.
And it takes 50-50 to contribute to both the negative and the positive sides of it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I like what you said when you confirmed and said physical attraction is important. I think, many times I get asked that question a lot. Shireen, why aren't you dating this guy because this and this and that? I always say, for me, and I have to be really transparent about it. If I am not physically attracted to you, I cannot even pursue and say, let's get to know each other, or give you my cacao.
There you go, yeah.
Because physical attraction is what drives,
for sure,
in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then you can determine later on, is that the personality I like?
Exactly.
Or not, right?
You gotta be hot, right? You gotta be a hot man. Yeah.
We can cut there.
Yeah.
That's good.